taking you guys along with me on another day in the life, living here in the mountains. I'm soaking in every last drop because I am currently in decision mode of whether I want to leave my family land here and continue my studies in regard to natural medicine, because my heart feels called to it, but I don't want to leave the mountains, but I know it's temporary. So I'm just feeling really grateful to have access to my breath and to have access to nature no matter where I'm at, and just kind of soaking in that knowledge. And so I thought that that would be a nice thought to share with you guys. I know not everybody lives deep in the natural world, but it is really sweet to just remember that you have all of the elements inside of your body and your breath is always accessible to you no matter where you're at. And yeah, you have nature at your fingertips every single day because you are nature, and all you really have to do is turn inwards and tune into yourself and reacclimate to that knowledge. And yeah, I think that's my favorite tip for people who have a hard time living in the busyness of society and living in the cities. Find a park, find a tree, and just find your breath no matter where you're at. You can always choose to extend your exhale to breathe in deep into your belly, and to lengthen your exhale longer than your inhale, and that just re-regulates your nervous system and just reminds you that you always have peace accessible to you no matter where you're at. Even when I was in cities traveling and even living in a city for a short amount of time for school, I always tapped into my breath, and it is the deepest medicine. So yes, that's what I'm pondering on my walk this morning, is just really asking God to guide me and just asking him, how can I be of service? And just asking God, how can I use my gifts that you've given to me to be of the deepest service in this lifetime? We can get wrapped up in images and our egos and just all of the narratives of society. But what it really boils down to is, when you're looking at your life's purpose, how can I best be of service to others? And I feel like that kind of allows the thoughts to kind of dissipate and just the knowing to arise. So yeah, I think that that's what's guiding me right now in all of my relationships with the land and with my body and with others, and even with the online space, is how can I use all of my knowledge and everything that I've been gifted in this life to be of service to the world, and how can I use my karma as a gift? So those are some thoughts that I want to leave you with while I am on my morning walk. Bye guys. Okay, I'm taking a break from working. I had a few clients, and I was also preparing a slideshow for my group that I host every Sunday with teaching women about their cycles. And so I am taking a break to eat some lunch. I have 3 pasture-raised eggs from our chickens. I have some arugula, a raw carrot. You guys know the drill. Raw carrots help detoxify out any excess estrogen, which prevents PMS and painful periods. I also have a purple radish all cut up. I put some avocado in here, some cilantro, and I also drizzled it all with some extra virgin olive oil and some balsamic dressing with some sea salt and pepper. And I'm also sipping on some tea. And I'm also sipping on some peppermint tea to just soothe my digestion, help disperse all of the nutrients that I'm eating. I'm just going to eat this outside in the sunshine. I love when it's warm outside and I can eat every single meal outside. You guys probably saw that I did that in the winter too, but when it's warm out and you can just be in like a crop top and shorts outside, it's a different vibe, just like soaking in the nourishment and soaking in the nourishment all at the same time. But yeah, what are your guys' current favorite lunches? Because as you guys know, I kind of just throw together random mixes of foods, and it would be fun to hear some of your guys' favorite meals. I want to get more into like making different cuisines. I really want to start making more like Greek food because I really like Greek food. And also, yeah, just exploring different cuisines and making like healthier versions of those. So okay, I am on my way to the farmer's market after having 2 in-person client meetings. I have nutrition and herbal clients in person twice a week because I rent a space out of a healing arts collective in my hometown, which is really sweet because most of my client calls happen remotely and you kind of miss that in-person connection time. And so I love just dropping in with people in person, and these clients are people that I see regularly and I have been for a while. So it's just really sweet to build community in that way and just connect with people. But yeah, I am super excited. It's the first farmers market of the season in my little mountain town, and our growing season is really long, but it starts really late. And so I always see like my friends who live in more like valley type of environments are always going to the farmers market, and even people who live down south have like year-round farmers markets. And so I'm just excited to go. And yeah, one of my biggest passions is food as medicine and reconnecting ourselves back to the land. And so half of me is like, you guys have seen this theme throughout the course of this video. This is literally my brain in a nutshell. I have way too many passions and interests for my own good, and it's so hard for me because part of me is always like, oh, I want to go to school and I want to continue learning about different forms of healing and offer that to the world. But then the other half of me is like, you literally could just become a farmer and let that be your way of healing the world, because I have such a deep love for both. And I am somebody who just needs to remind myself that you can do it all, just maybe not all at once. And so if you're somebody who too struggles with the fig tree analogy, the one of there are so many options and so many different directions our lives could take, and it feels like we need to just choose one, and if we don't choose one, then they're all just gonna fall and we'll never attain any of them. And while I think that there's a level of truth to like needing to direct your energy in one direction and just like really pour yourself into those avenues, I think it's also true that life is long but short. And so if you choose one direction to go now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're cut off from all the other ones. Like, I feel like social media does a really good job of tricking us that we need to put ourselves into these little boxes and fit these little niches, but my niche is who I am, and I don't need to prescribe to these labels of I studied nutrition, so I'm a nutritionist. I think that that's really close-minded, because that keeps me from the capacity to be a writer and the capacity to be a farmer and the capacity to be a mother and all of those things. Like, we have so many different avenues and so many different facets to our being. We are literally multidimensional. We are not one-dimensional. And I feel like social media tricks us into thinking we need to choose one passion, but I think it's really beautiful when you can just blend all of your passions. And I'm saying this because I need to say it to myself, because part of me is like, oh, I just want to become a writer, and I'm like, school is so temporary and you're going to gain so much knowledge, and then you can, you know, move back out to the forest. But that's my mind right now. That's where my brain's at, and I'm on my way to the farmer's market, and I'm going to go connect with all the farmers and get some fresh, vibrant food to nourish my body with from people who are nourishing the land. And I think that that is so sweet.
So I don't know any songs. This is just words over here. About 2 or 3 times, smoking cigarettes in the last seat, trying to hide myself from the people I meet and get along with it all. When the people say y'all, sing a song with a friend, see the shape that I'm in, and get back in the game, start singing again.
Okay, I just put in all the starts that I got from the farmer's market into the ground in the garden, and the garden is starting to look so full and just vibrant. And This is one of the first harvests of the season. Lettuce is the only thing that's really like harvestable right now besides like kales and like greens and things like that. So I just wanted to show you guys. It's so beautiful. I think like when you grow food, you really truly appreciate the gift that it is. And so that's why I think gardening will save the world. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. And it's just so much more nutrient rich and it just tastes so much better than getting it from the store when it's been sitting on the shelf for so long. Like I literally just picked this and the nourishment is going to go straight from the ground into my belly and into my body, so hopefully not back on the floor. Okay, I'm ending my night in the hammock out right by the garden, and I love putting my hammock here because the sun sets down by the river way faster than it does up here, and so it's about 7:30 and the sun is still hitting me right here, so I get to chill and just reflect on the day and write in my journal out in the hammock. I also was sent some of this really cool ice cream by a small business. It's called I Like It Raw Dairy. It's basically really healthy ice cream that you could essentially just eat for breakfast. It's made with A2 protein milk, which essentially doesn't wreak havoc on your gut, and it's just a lot easier to digest. And then it has pasture-raised organic soy-free egg yolks, some organic maple syrup to sweeten it, fermented organic cacao, which is a lot easier for us to digest and just freeze all the magnesium and nutrients in it, and then organic vanilla bean, Redmond sea salt, which is essentially really mineral rich sea salt, and then gelatin from pasture-raised cattle to make these really yummy marshmallows. And it's just this creamy, delicious treat at the end of the day. And yeah, I'm just going to sit out here and soak in the last rays of the sun. I love to get sunlight in my eyes around sunrise and sunset because these rays have a lot of infrared light in them, and what this does is it penetrates our skin and it goes into our eyes and signals to our brain to create melatonin. And melatonin is a very powerful antioxidant in the body, but it also helps regulate our circadian rhythm, and that helps regulate our hormone health and helps us sleep really well. And sleep is a fundamental pillar of health, and so that is probably the number one thing that I do for my health, is get light in my eyes as much as I can from natural sources, especially around sunrise and sunset. So I'm going to say goodbye here. I hope that you guys had a really fun time hanging out with me on this vlog, and I hope that you guys are nourishing your bodies from the sunlight to the foods that you eat to the ways that you talk to yourself. And yeah, drop in with yourself, take a deep belly breath, get out in nature, get your hands in the soil, and nourish your body on all levels. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.